else? Who else is raising their hand? Who wants to share something they learned about leadership yesterday? Miss Kathy?
So one of the things he said was that you manage the process and you lead the people.
Yeah, that was one of my biggest takeaways was that quote. I love that. You lead people and you manage the process. And so you think about that when we talk about the difference, because we have talked about that in a lot of our gold meetings and stuff. When we talk about leadership, we talk about the difference in management and leadership. And those words get interchanged a lot, but they do not mean the same thing. So understanding the difference between being a manager and being a leader. Now, a lot of managers are good leaders. Hopefully, not always though. But we want to understand what the difference is, because you can manage somebody, you can manage a system, you can manage a process, you can get a job done. That's not the same thing as leadership. Good. What else? Anyone else want to share something that they learned yesterday? No? Okay. Lane, last one, and then we'll move on. Go ahead, Miss Lane.
To always be positive and to stay strong.
Okay, good. All right. So
and, what the sections are in the book.
And what?
What the sections are in the book.
Okay. So we're gonna I'm gonna do a couple announcements and then we will go from there. So first of all, today's Earth Day. So happy Earth Day, everybody. Who knew that it was Earth Day today? It's kind of weird being home. We're not as like when we go to school or karate, usually we talk to more people and we are reminded of stuff like that. Today is Earth Day. So Miss Katie did post a challenge today. It's a little Earth Day scavenger hunt. So anyone who does that will get a star. We also had our Easter egg hunt the Saturday before Easter. If anybody did that and has not picked up their prize, you can pick up your prize any day this week, Monday through Friday, between like 1 and 7 p.m. from Miss Heather. And you could call the studio and she can just walk it outside to you. We are planning to do our belt testing virtually. So raise your hand if you already have your purple stripe. A lot of you guys already have your purple stripes this time. Yeah, good. So we are planning on doing our belt test virtually this time. The test is scheduled for May 2nd, which is the Saturday it's been scheduled for forever. So we're going to keep it at the same time. I think what we're going to do, and this is tentative, so keep that in mind, is do groups of about 20 at a time, testing throughout the day between 12 p.m. and like 5 p.m. or however long we need to on that Saturday for the gut test. So what we're going to do is the Saturday before your test, once we know who is testing, we will, Earth Day's tomorrow. Thank you, Miss Kathy. It's Earth Day week. Okay, so what was I saying though? Test all day Saturday. We're going to call everybody who's testing the week before, 1 week before on that Saturday. We'll let you know time your test is going to be, because we don't, we're going to have to kind of adjust it a little bit differently than normal and only do certain numbers of people at a time and different things like that. So we need to kind of see exactly who we're going to have testing. So 1 week before May 2nd, we'll let you guys all know what time your test is. If you're a Tiger and Dragon, you have a little bit of different process. I'll talk about that in a second. For all of our GUP students who are testing on that Saturday, you do still need to turn in your testing paperwork. It's going to be a little bit different. Master Lappin is covering belt test fees, but we will have you do your written test, which is online. Miss Heather posted the link for that. And write a paragraph. And the paragraph is, she posted the topic for that as well, about leadership. When you get your purple stripe, we'll send you a letter for that, but she did post the letter. So if you already have gotten your purple stripe, you can look in the Facebook group or look in your emails when we send out that letter. If you don't have it, call the studio and we'll send it again. Okay, so that's it for, does anyone have any questions about that test? And then I'll talk about the Tiger Dragon test in a minute. Nothing. Okay, good. So the next thing is the Tiger and Dragon test. The Tigers and Dragons are testing either Friday or Saturday. So either May 1st or May 2nd. We're going to have 2 different times. Well, we might have a couple. Again, depends on the number of people we have testing. But I think we're going to do something like a 3:30 test on Friday and then like a 5 o'clock test, 4 o'clock test on Saturday. So we'll, again, let you guys know 1 week before the test what your testing time is. this Friday. So we do have so I've been saying that all of our club seminars, all of our masters in leadership seminars are on as scheduled. I am modifying them a little bit this Friday. So we are still going to have them. We are not going to do the rolling and falling because we have been racking our brains with how we're going to teach rolling and falling. But the biggest thing with rolling and falling is practicing. So we can't support you, spot you, correct you, things like that the same way doing that virtually. So we're not going to have our rolling and falling seminar this Friday, but we do still have the other seminars, but I'm going to shift the times a little bit. So we have Masters and Leaders have a board breaking and staff seminar. That's at 6 o'clock. That is staying at 6 o'clock. So we have that one. And then Leaders Club is doing sword and takedowns. It was scheduled for 8 p.m., but we're going to move it to 7 p.m. Okay. Since we don't have the other thing that was happening at 7. So if you are in Masters or Leaders, on this Friday at 6 for board breaking and staff. And then if you are in Leaders, we're doing sword and takedown at 7 o'clock. Okay, in a couple weeks, we're going to start our next book, and that's going to be the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So hopefully all of you guys will be on for that. Let's see, what other announcements do I have? I think that's it. So does anyone have any questions for me about anything that I just talked about? Miss Abby? Go ahead, Abby.
What day are we gonna do the masters?
This Friday. Okay, the next thing that we will talk about, we're gonna do our stars in a second. Before, let's talk about our 3 things that we're grateful for. So let's say our 3 favorite things about one favorite thing. Only 3 people are going to be able to answer your favorite thing about training at Middleburg Martial Arts. So who wants to share their favorite thing about training at Middleburg Martial Arts? Mr. Luca? Go ahead and unmute yourself. And then James, you can share next. And then I'll have one more.
Seeing your friends and learning new stuff.
Yeah, and what about making friends too, right? Seeing friends, making friends, and always learning and growing. I love that. Good, Luca. All right, James, what is your favorite thing about training at Middleburg Martial Arts? And then Mr. Paul, I'll have you go next.
I got it. Picks, grabs, and the forms.
Yeah, so you like the technique, the martial arts technique. That's awesome. So the kicks, the grabs,
Do
the
this
forms.
thing.
Very nice, James. And Mr. Paul.
I'm trying to mute herself.
Michael and Donald, guys, you have to keep yourself muted unless you're called on, okay? All right, Mr. Paul, what is your favorite thing about training at Middleburg Martial Arts?
I like that it's not a season. So it's year round and it's a family thing. So there's not one kid playing soccer and us sitting in the stands and another kid playing football and us sitting in the stands. So the whole family can do it and we can do it year round.
Yeah, those are 2 really big points. A lot of sports, you'll see people like in high school sports or college sports, they have to do something in their off season to keep themselves in shape or keep themselves learning and growing and improving. Whereas martial arts, it's constant. You're constantly learning and growing and improving. And that's a really powerful thing. But then also what he said is being able to do it with your family. And their whole family trains together. And of course, that's wonderful. But for those who don't have their whole family training, you kind of create a family that you're training with. And we do have some other I know the Fortneys and stuff like that. And that's wonderful to be able to cheer each other on, to be able to support each other, help each other practice, seeing each other grow and improve and things like that is very, very cool. So good. Okay, let's go ahead and do stars. Who has character building sheets to turn in today? Go ahead and hold them up if you have some character building sheets for us today. Miss Cassie, how many do you have, Cassie?
I have 1.
Cassie, you have 1. And which one is it?
Character building sheet number 9.
Very good. Everyone clap for Cassie. Good job, Cassie. All right, who else has a character building sheet to turn in today? Mr. Jonathan? You have 1?
I have 1.
Good.
It's
Which one is
judo.
it, Jonathan? Verbal judo. Very good. Everyone clap for Jonathan.
Verbal judo.
Good job. All right. And Miss Lane, how many do you have? I can't hear you, Lane. All right, Beatrice. Beatrice, how many
I
do
have
you?
6.
Okay, Lane, you have 6. Which ones are they?
She has good building good character number 5, building good character number 2, building good and 4, and then she has the confidence Corey words to remember, and then she has the 5 page definition.
Very good. Good job, Lane. Good job. All right, Miss Beatrice, how many do you have, my dear?
I have 3. I have the book club sheet, self-discipline, and the karate homework.
Very nice. Good. Everyone clap for Beatrice. Good job, Beatrice. All right, who else has character building sheet for us today? Miss Kathy?
I just have
Go
the
ahead.
book club sheet. Just one book club sheet.
Very good. Good job. Everyone clap for Miss Kathy. Very good. Very good. All right, Miss Hannah. How many do you have today, Hannah?
I have got to sort through them. Okay, so I have one of the 7-day Black Belt Excellence to-do list, and then I have a self-discipline sheet.
Very nice. So 8 total. Good job, Miss Hannah. Everyone clap for
I
Hannah.
also have character building sheet number 2.
Oh, nice. 9 of them. Very good. Very good. All right. So let's see. Who else? Who else has some character building sheets? Miss Amber. Amber, go ahead and unmute yourself and let me know how many you have, sweetie.
I have 9.
9. Very good. Which ones are they?
The self-discipline, the chore sheet, and the book club.
Very good. Good job, Miss Amber. Okay. Anybody else have character building sheets? Go ahead and hold them up. Miss Stella. How many do you have, Stella?
I have sheet number 6 and 7 and 7 stars.
7 total stars. Good. Which other ones do you have?
Oh,
Just sheet 6.
Oh, okay. That's the one with the 7 days. I got you. Good job. Everyone clap for Stella. Good job. Good job. All right. See, Miss Robin. Miss Robin, how many do you have?
It's not working. We have 7 each, the chore sheets.
Very nice, Bella and Bianca. Very good, you guys. Everyone clap for the Burks. They each have 7. Very good. And that's one right now. You guys are home more. So you should be getting all of those things done each day. And you guys should be turning those in once a week and earning 7 stars each time. So very good, ladies. All right, Mr. Caleb. How many do you have, Caleb?
I have 7 and I finished my character building sheet 6.
Very good. Very good. Clap for Caleb. All right, Mr. Luca. How many do you have, Luca?
I have 1 for the book club sheet.
Very nice. Good. Everyone clap for Luca. Good job, Luca. All right, Miss Becky. How many do
So I
you
just
have, Miss
wanted to say,
Becky?
they're not for me, but the Sturkis turned in 16 stars this week. So I just wanted to let everyone know that Caitlin, Nicole, and Lily turned in 16. So good job, you guys.
Awesome. Very nice. Good job, Sturkas. Okay. Anybody else have stars? Was that Miss, is that it? Anybody? Anybody? Let me flip through, make sure I'm not missing anybody. Emily. Emily, how many do you have?
I have 9.
Good. And which ones are they, Emily?
The self-discipline, book club, and character building sheet number 6, the chore sheet.
Very nice. Good. Everyone clap for Miss Emily. All right. Is that the last one? I see Connor. Connor, do you have some character building sheets?
No, I just want to tell you something about the boat that I was going to make. I finally got it up and running.
That's
So,
the end of Matt chat. Let's talk about it then, okay? All right. I think that's it. Is there anyone else? Go ahead and unmute yourself and say something if I missed you. All right. Good job, you guys. Okay. Master Lappin, are you on here with us? Okay, and I don't see Mr. David.
I'm here, Rachel.
Are you here, David? Okay, Master Lappin, do you want to talk about leadership for just a second? I'm going to go ahead and try to call Mr. David and make sure he's not having an issue with getting on Zoom.
Okay, so I wanted to mention something first before I talk about leadership with the group. And that's, don't forget that yesterday we've been training for a full month virtually. So you guys should clap for yourself because that's a really big deal that you made a whole month virtually. And you know what else you get for doing that? Do you guys know? You get a free month of regular karate at the end of your agreement. So if you have an agreement that ends in 2 years, you'll get a month free at the end of the agreement. And all of you guys that are online today have already earned a month. So we're gonna send a little email. I already sent out an email, I think, in a text, but you'll be getting an email with a coupon that gives you a free month, and you could use it at the end of your agreement. So if you're on a 1-year agreement, you could use it at the end of the year, or a 3-year, the end of the 3-year, or a 6-year, the end of the 6-year. The other thing is for anyone that's in the after school program, and we have many people that are in the after school program that have still been actually making their payments, and you guys have earned an activities pass worth $500. So it's a pretty good deal for you. So I appreciate that. So you guys will be getting that in the mail probably in a week or 2. I made the list yesterday of who qualified, and you'll be getting that in the mail. It'll be a little pass. So that's coming out. So those are some exciting things. And did you want me to talk about leadership, Rachel?
Yeah, Mr. David's getting on right now. I just talked to him, so he'll be on in a second. Okay. I'll go ahead and introduce him, and then if you would like to say a couple things as well. So I asked him just to send me a quick bio. And you know what's funny is I asked all these guys for bios, and I know a little bit about what each of these guys have done. And their bios are nice and sweet and give a little good, but they're all a little bit more humble than they should be. So here's David's bio. He said he started doing martial arts at the age of 4 and holds a black belt in Tong Soo Do. And he's a 2nd degree in Taekwondo. He's currently a senior at United States Naval Academy and will soon begin training to become a pilot for the U.S. Marine Corps. So he did train with us. He got his black belt with us. He was, in our leadership program. He actually graduated. He put it in there that he's a senior. He graduates in just a few weeks from Annapolis Naval Academy. And I know I missed yesterday, but it's incredibly impressive just to get into Annapolis, and he's made it through. He's graduating from Annapolis. So that's really, really impressive. They have a really strong leadership program. Because what their whole goal is, it's with the Navy, and their whole goal is, raise your hand if you think it's important for our Navy to have leadership, or any of our military to have leadership. A lot of times when we think about leadership, we think of strong military figures like our president, or like George Washington, or, you think of strong military leaders. Can be very clear. It's very important. You could not lead a military. You couldn't lead a country without that leadership. So Annapolis is known for their leadership development. Master Lappin and I went to Annapolis, and they teach a lot of similar. They have their what are they called? The 7 pillars. Master Lappin, do you remember? They're so similar to what we teach in martial arts. So, all right. I see. Did you want to say anything? I see Mr. David just hopped on with us. Did you want to say anything, Master Lappin, before?
No, just that we are so proud of David. I watched him grow up from a little boy to a wonderful young man. I haven't seen him in probably about a year, David, but we're so glad you're on, and thank you so much. And you are such a good role model for all of these students on here. So thank you for being here. I know how busy you are, especially being a senior and getting ready to graduate. So
well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we're glad you're here.
I'll have to send it to you later, David, but I found a picture of you we have, a picture of all of our black belts on the wall. And so there's a picture, little David as a first degree. And how old were you when you got your first degree with us?
Oh, I think I was 8.
Yeah, you were pretty young. Okay, so why don't you introduce yourself to everybody? Obviously, this is Misfit Airs. I read your bio. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why don't we start with your academic journey? So you went to Middleburg High School. A couple of these guys go there. Some of them are going to go there. So you went to Middleburg High School, and why don't you tell us a little bit about your, your academic?
Academic wise, so I took academics pretty seriously when I was in high school. Starting from my freshman year all the way up to my senior year, I took a lot of AP and dual enrollment classes, and I don't know if you, like the people who do go to Middleburg High School, if you know who Mr. Markham is, highly recommend having him as a teacher, a great teacher. But big thing is for me, whenever I did school is one of the most important things, mainly because I knew that if I wanted to go to the school I wanted to go to after high school, I knew that grades were super important. So I would go home after any sports practice I did or after doing martial arts, and I would make sure I would get all my work done, even if it meant going to bed a little bit later is some sacrifice that you had to make. And there was actually times where after talking with my parents, I decided to do classes in the evening and also during the summer. And but ultimately it paid off. I was able to become a valedictorian of the class of 2016 from Middleburg, and also my older sister, she was valedictorian of the class of 2014. So like being valedictorian though, that's not necessarily like, oh, like it's the best thing ever, because the school I went to, I remember one time during, so I go to Naval Academy, and one time during our training, one of our trainers was like, hey, raise your hand if you're a valedictorian of your high school. And we, like half the hallway that we were in raised our hands.
Wow.
Gosh,
That's
like, that's insane. But it just goes to show though, that you can always work hard and you can always improve and you can always do better, but building a strong foundation with academics is one of the most important things you could do while growing up. Even if you think it's not fun, because trust me, I know it's not that great, it's not that glorious, but it definitely pays off in the long run, for sure.
Awesome. Okay, and so I know I had a couple questions I told you I was going to ask you, so I'll ask those, and then if there's anything else you want, I know that I was telling everybody before you hopped on, me and Master Lapin actually toured Annapolis a little while ago, and I know that they have such a strong leadership program. Like that's such a big part of what they teach, and you've done a lot of martial arts training, and so you probably at your age have way more leadership training than most people at that point. So I'll let you talk a little bit about leadership at the end too. But so my first question, how would you say that your black belt training, your leadership training at Middleburg Martial Arts helped you while you were in school and through your academic journey?
It definitely gave me confidence and drive to want to do better. Like my older brother, sister, and I, we're all three super competitive in nature. It's just how we were kind of brought up. And so whenever it came to like academics and when it came to our martial arts training, like we always wanted to work on being the best at what we did. And that definitely translated to leadership training and a lot of what I do now at the Naval Academy and the jobs that I have, mainly because it brought me into that mindset throughout my whole life that not many get the opportunity to have. And everyone in here has that opportunity to have that confidence and that mindset built in. And it's not going to happen necessarily overnight. For some people, it does. Like for some people, that's just their nature. But you'll hear like practice makes perfect, but like the perfect practice makes perfect. So if you continually push yourself and if you continually believe in yourself, and that's the type of thing that martial arts instilled in you, especially at Middleburg Martial Arts, if you tell yourself like, hey, I'm capable, I'm confident, I'm able to do these challenges that has been placed in my life, you're going to be able to do it. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it, because there's no problem and there's nothing that you face that's going to be greater than you, ever. So that's a big thing that you're going to do whenever you continue doing martial arts and you continue doing something that you're passionate about, whether that's another hobby, another sport, something that you truly believe in yourself and your capabilities. then you're going to start thinking, oh, hey, like I am able to do all these new things, all these challenging things. And is one day going to translate to whenever you inevitably go into a leadership position. So that's a big thing that martial arts taught me, is just always be confident. And whenever you're confident and you believe in yourself, then other people are going to believe in you because they see you, and people want to follow someone who is sure of themselves.
Awesome. Yeah, that's very true. We actually, I know you knew Mr. Gourlay. He was on with us yesterday. He spoke with everybody a little bit about leadership. And that was a big thing that he said too, was the confidence. And whenever you're delivering your message, make sure you're presenting it the right way, presenting yourself with that confidence and that assertiveness makes a big difference. So very nice. All right. You kind of answered my next couple questions, but so the last one I'll ask you is, what would you tell a student or a parent who is considering making the commitment to black belt leadership training? Because we have a lot on here. Actually, we have probably about 60 people on here. And I would say 45 of them are in our leadership program, meaning they've committed to training to black belt and beyond. And we have a few in here that are considering it. We have a few that just made that commitment this past week. So we do have some that are considering, deciding if this is what they want to do, if they want to get to black belt and that kind of thing. So what kind of advice would you say to those guys?
Well, I would say, like, congratulations on getting into leadership training, first of all, and for deciding to commit to that. It's a big deal. A huge thing is, whenever you're doing the black belt leadership training, remember that you're not necessarily doing it for yourself. You're doing it for others, because the training that you're doing, you're learning how to be a role model. You're learning how to be like, this is the goal. And whenever younger students are going to look at you, or whenever brand new people are going to come in and they're going to go like, okay, like, where's the black belt? Because wearing the black belt, although like you're like, yes, I finally did it, I finally reached that goal, you still have so much to learn, because you become a teacher. And whenever you become a teacher and you're put in a role of leadership, and like where you have to go and mentor others, you learn about your leadership style, you learn about your mentorship style, and it might be harder than you realize. Like for me, it definitely came in handy doing a lot of leadership training with martial arts whenever I had to go to Naval Academy, because we have different jobs in the Naval Academy, and my job was training officer. So I was in charge of training all the brand new people coming into my company. And it was definitely a challenge, because it's a different nature of being a teacher and being a student. So you have to realize that whenever you do reach that leadership status and you do reach that black belt status, you're making a commitment to others to help them and want them to get better. And that is your goal. And the goal of the teacher is to eventually become obsolete, because the student masters everything and they can become a teacher themselves. So that's the goal. So just remember that whenever you do your leadership training and whenever you do anything, basically almost anything in life, really, if you put others before yourselves and you want others to improve, that's whenever you're going to reap the best results. So just remember that martial arts and leadership isn't for you, it's for the others that you're going to help. So that would be my biggest advice. Just be aware that it's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be a very fun challenge.
Yeah, that was awesome. That's big. And I've mentioned that a couple times. We talked about in the mat chat too, as once you get to black belt, you become a servant. Your goal is to serve and help other people. And as you become higher in the ranks, that's so much more important. Going to master's camp, that's what they focus on the whole time. So thank you for that. That was very well worded. So is there anything else that you want to share with the guys about leadership? I think you put out some big messages there.
It's definitely a fun journey. And I'm still learning a whole bunch about it. For example, this is my first Zoom call with like 60 plus people, but it's definitely amazing seeing like everyone in here, like everyone like wanting to get better, like all ages. You guys and girls are going to do absolutely amazing in life. And like I'm just excited because I remember just being like everyone's age in here, unless you're older than me, then I don't remember that. But I remember growing up around here in Middleburg. I grew up here since kindergarten. So it's actually really nice seeing like, oh, like we're in good hands. Like you guys are going to do incredible things and you have your whole future ahead of you. So just keep working hard. It pays off. It really does pay off, because if you have a goal, if you have a dream that you want to achieve, you can achieve it. Like, it sounds cliche and people go like, you achieve your dreams, but it really just matters on the amount of work and the amount of effort that you put in. And sometimes life might throw something your way, but that's fine. It just makes it a little more challenging, but that just makes you a lot stronger. So remember that, like, keep working hard. I don't want to talk your guys' ears off, but if you have any questions, let me know. But yeah, super proud of y'all. This is amazing.
Well, thank you, David. Yeah, if you have a minute, we can open it up and we'll ask some questions. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. David? Anything you guys are itching to know?
Hey, Rachel, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
What about, I would like David to maybe speak. He also did other sports when he was in high school. And I'm wondering how he did it all. I have people sometimes tell me I can't do karate because I have to keep my grades up. And yet you see the most successful people, they do karate, they keep their grades up, they do whatever, they do band. How did you do it, David? Because that can be a challenge.
A lot of it was my parents. They like helped keep me in check. But a big thing is like, so I did wrestling, I did football, and I did like extra school. So like there's a lot of times where I would go to school, go to sports practice, and then I would go to school again, and then I wouldn't be able to go home until like 8 or 9 in the evening, and then I would start my homework.
Wow.
But biggest thing is I had, like I said, like I had a goal in mind. Like there was something that I wanted more than going out and hanging out with like my friends for like a weekend, or like going and doing some random thing. Like there's something that in the long term I knew I wanted, and that was to go to the Naval Academy. And there's like very few things that would get in the way of that. So I just prioritized. So it's like, think about what you want, think about the person that who you are. And if you know who you are, not what you are, then it makes it a lot easier. And what I mean by that is, if you were to take everything away from you right now, like everything in life, and you were just you, what hasn't changed? And that is who you are. And so you figure out who you are and what aligns with that, and just do those things, because like who you are ultimately leads to what you want to do. So it makes it a lot simpler when you know that. And I knew like the person who I am wanted to be at the Naval Academy, and like you can have as many things as you want on your plate. You always have time to get it done. Like you really do. There's enough time in the day, and enough time in the week to get things done. It just matters on how you use your time. And I'm not perfect at using my time, but whenever I have a goal in mind, and whenever I set my sight on something, like you can just do it. Like it's much simpler than you think.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Any other ones, you guys? If you do, I'm having a little bit of lag. My internet's cutting out a little bit. If you do, go ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead and ask Mr. David. Miss Katie?
Hi, David. So good to see you. I remember like one of the best things that when you, your brother, and your sister would come into the studio, you guys would just light up the studio. So my question is for my students that are having a hard time now, maybe you could give them some advice on how to keep going like you did throughout everything that you did, even starting with us when you were so little.
Yeah, I think what she means right now, everyone's going through a pretty big hurdle obstacle with we're doing virtual karate classes and things, doing virtual schooling. So just some advice about not giving up, overcoming those obstacles.
Oh yeah, definitely. The beauty about martial arts, you can practice it anywhere, anytime. And oh, bye, Jonathan. But you can practice it anywhere, anytime, and you can do it no matter where you are. And for a lot of times, the reason why that my brother, sister, and I were able to like get to black belt status and leadership status was because we would literally just move our like kitchen table, like our living room table, and like push back our couches and stuff. And we had a DVD of martial arts films, and then we would just practice it in front of the
Did we lose him?
You're muted.
You're muted. Yeah, I am. My signal's lagging, Master Lappin, so I might need you to take over. Yeah, I do think that we just lost him. I don't see him on here now. Okay, we'll give him 1 second to come back on. Otherwise, that was pretty good, though. A lot of good advice there. But one of the things he was just saying is, you know, even about a while ago, I mean, he's talking about having a DVD, like the pre-recorded DVDs that are hard to come by, or were hard to come by. So we have a lot more advantages. But even then, that's one of the big things that they use to practice.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry, my internet just cut out.
Yeah, we've been having trouble here too.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, I think we did have another question. I think Miss Cora had a question for you. If you want to go, Cora.
It's not as much as a question. It's kind of like a statement. I just wanted to say thank you. Miss Katie, she told me about you like when we first met, and I guess you've just like always been my inspiration since I've started karate, and I wanted to thank you for that.
Wow. And you're talking to Mr. David, huh, Cora?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So David, did you even know that you were an inspiration to other people in our studio that you may not even know?
No, I didn't. That's absolutely amazing.
That, you know, your pictures up on the wall, your whole family's pictures are on our wall still, like they always have been. And we brag on you guys. We say, you know, this one did this, and this one did this, and this one did this. And we're really proud of you guys. We're proud of all of our black belts, but we're very proud of you. We have a bunch of the people you trained with coming to talk the next couple weeks. We've got Casey, we've got Gwen, we've got you. I think your brother and sister. We had Mr. Gourlay.
Both come. I don't know if they told you that, but Leah will be on tomorrow morning, and then John Paul I think is coming on next week.
Oh, that's awesome.
On later this week. Yeah. So if you want to join us for any of those too.
Yeah. And Miss Cora, like I want to say thank you. That's absolutely awesome that like you look at me as an inspiration, because that is very heartwarming. Especially because like in leadership, like you don't necessarily know the lasting effect that you can have on someone, or maybe even people you don't actually necessarily meet. So I'm really glad that I have been able to like inspire you on that way. That's absolutely incredible, and that actually inspires me to want to continue to do better because of people like you and like people like everyone in this room. So thank you for that. That made my day, like absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, if we don't have any other questions, Mr. David, back to his day. If anyone else has a question, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask. I can't, my Wi-Fi is lagging a little bit, so I can't see everybody's videos. So if you have one, unmute yourself and ask really quickly. Otherwise, Lane, go ahead, Lane.
When did you start karate, Mr. David?
I started in martial arts at the age of 4.
about how old Lane was when she started training, huh, Lane? You were pretty young when you
Yes,
started.
ma'am. And Cora.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, keep going then. That's not many people get the opportunity to start martial arts at that age. And when you do, you get to learn a lot. You learn a lot. You meet a lot of people. Like I said, like by the time you're 8, think about the advantage that you'll have. And or just continue going, because at this point it becomes, whenever you get to like the older ages, like 15, 16, all the way up to like 20 or whatever, and you keep practicing and you keep working hard, another cool thing about martial arts is that it starts to become muscle memory. And practicing the technique over and over again. So like you might say like, oh, another hana monkey. Like, okay, come on, like let me do something cool. Like, little do you know is that every single time you do a low block or a high block or middle block or punch, it becomes muscle memory. Your brain starts to learn it a lot better, even the kicks. And next thing you know, like you can go like a year or 2 without practicing. Okay, I'm not that flexible. You could go a year or 2 without practicing if like life throws something your way and you don't have necessarily the means to do it. And then you could go back and you are a little rusty, but you're still able to do all these techniques because you started at such a young age and you're able to develop. But that goes for anyone necessarily. Like you don't have to be 4 years old to start and get that muscle memory. You could continue to practice and remember, perfect practice makes perfect, and then you still have it. Like for me, I kind of took like a year or 2 unable to practice because of all like the military training stuff I was doing and all the other things I had to do. I was like, you know what, I'm going to focus on this because that's my current goal right now. But then I was able to go and actually spar against West Point, and it was my first sparring match in years. And I was like, wow, like I still remember things. So yeah, starting at the age of 4 is fantastic. That makes me happy, and it makes me really excited that you have such an awesome opportunity. So that's good on you for that, and honestly, good on your parents. Give them a high five for me.
So David, when do you graduate? You graduate next month, don't you?
Yep. May 22nd is my official graduation and commissioning. So we'll have like a completely different one than all the other years. But I'll officially become an officer in the Marine Corps.
That is awesome. Let's all give him a round of applause. That's really incredible. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us. You guys can go ahead and unmute yourself and say thank you. Say kamapsamida to Mr. David.
Thank you so much.
David, maybe someday we could get you to stop in the studio when you're back.
Thank you, David.
Matthew, hold on for a second. I can't hear you.
Can we leave?
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Okay, Master Lappin, if you want to unmute yourself and say whatever you were going to say.
Bye.
Got it. If you can't hear
You're
me,
muted,
don't worry about it.
Master Lappin. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. David, maybe we can get you to come into the studio one day when you're back home. We'd love to see you.
That'll be awesome. Yeah, I'm actually back home now until whenever they tell us to go
in.
back.
Oh, well, no one's there though. That's the problem. I was going to say stop in, but no one's. I'm hoping we'll be open maybe May or something. But when we open up again and you're around, stop in and see everybody, because really, you people do look up to you. You're a role model there.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
And
Yeah,
thank
that'd be
you,
great.
David.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. Tung Su.
Well, Benjamin, do you have a quick question?
I'm not going to be able to do the classes because I hurt my foot on my bed.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I hope you feel better. I hope your foot heals. And I hope everyone has a great day. And thank you again, David, so much. I'll talk to you soon, and congratulations on graduation. Bye,
Thank you.
guys. Bye, David.
Bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
sweetie. Bye, Master Lappin. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.